Hi, Earth Science. It's me, Mr. Orr, actually in the classroom. So I stopped by here to record this little video here to show you how to go about doing your basalt rock lab. So what this lab is all about is sort of examining the density of two rock samples. Now, these rock samples aren't just any rocks. They make up an example oceanic crust and an example continental crust. Okay, so what I've got here, I'm going to switch the camera to show the opposite view. Just a second. What I've got here are all the parts of the lab that we'll need. Okay, so a couple different things for you to have at your setup. You've got a beaker of water, you've got a graduated cylinder. Okay, that is right there. You've got your scale here, and you've got two samples of rock. Okay, we've got granite and basalt. Okay, and they're all a little bit different sizes. So we need to find the density of these two rocks. That's the whole purpose here. What we're hoping to do is sort of prove that one of them is more dense than the other, and hopefully it's a type of rock that's oceanic crust, okay? Because oceanic crust should be more dense and subducts underneath that continental crust. You guys have a lab with a nice, neat area to write down your data, but I just wrote on the board here where I'm gonna record my data as I do this lab today, okay? And the other thing I've got here, which you may not recognize, is it's called a displacement can. It's pretty much just a metal can with a little spout here. And I put some water in there ahead of time just to speed up the process a little bit. And all right, so let's start getting some data. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is find the mass of the sample. Okay, so I'm going to start by finding the mass of my basalt sample. So the basalt is this darker black looking rock here. Okay, it's right here. There it is. So I'm gonna place this on the scale. Just make sure you turn the on button, which is on right here. Place it right on the scale. It's gonna give me a measurement in grams. Okay, so 42.5, that's what my rock is gonna measure. So I'm gonna go ahead on my data table. Every time I get some data, super important to always go ahead and write down your data as you go. Okay, so that's 42.5 grams. There it is. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing with my granite. Okay, 68.5. I'm not going to go through and do a double for everything. I'm just going to go through and finish this lab with basalt. But remember, you do have to kind of repeat the process for each of the two different types of rock. What you're going to do is with your lab partner, one lab partner will do basalt and the other lab partner will do granite. I'll give you details on that in class. Okay, so the next step is we have to find the volume, because the formula for density, as you can see right there, is mass divided by volume. So we've got 1/2 of it already by measuring our mass, but now we need to find the volume. So notice I've got 3 lines here: initial volume, final volume, and rock volume. So I'm going to start up by finding the initial volume first, and I'll explain more about what that is in a quick second here. Before I can take the volume, I've got to get my displacement can ready to work. Okay, so I'm going to go hands-free for a second here. Okay, now I've got to find the volume of the rock. Remember, we're going to do basalt first. So first you got to get your displacement can ready, this metal can. Okay, I set it up here on this stand just to give it some elevation. So it's already got some water in it, but you're going to want to get your graduated cylinder right underneath that spout to catch any water that comes out. Pour water from your beaker to the can until water starts to come out. As soon as the water starts to leak out of it, out of that spout, you're going to stop pouring. Okay. Now I'm catching the water that does come out. Let it all dribble out. You gotta be real patient here. Let it go, go, go until it totally stops coming out. What basically we're doing is we're creating like a totally full bathtub right here. We're getting this absolutely full. Now I've got to note what this measurement is in this graduated cylinder. Okay. This has got about 15 milliliters of water in it right here. That's going to be my initial volume. So I'm going to go back to my board here, and I'll show you guys this in a second. I'm writing down 15 ml, or 15 milliliters, for my initial volume of basalt, okay? Next step, this is super important, okay? You gotta put your graduated cylinder back under the spout, hold it there, and carefully put the basalt in. Don't dunk it like a basketball, not like LeBron James. You're just gonna gently drop it into the water. The reason you don't wanna dunk it is you don't wanna get like a little extra force to create more volume than there really is. So you want to gently, gently, gently drop it in and catch that water in your graduated cylinder. So it pushed some of that water out, okay? So it's displacing some of that water that's in the can. So you're going to catch that water as it comes out. All right, be patient, wait till all dribbles out. And note what the final volume is. This is the next one. So the final volume is 30, pretty easy. So I'm writing down 30 milliliters on my table. Okay, now here's a really important step. So if the final volume was 30, the initial was 15, that means the water level moved up 15 milliliters. So I subtract 15, my initial volume, from the final volume. So easy, right? 30 minus 15, pretty easy to do. 30 minus 15 is 15. All right, so I'm gonna write down 15 for my rock volume. That's that third volume line. And this is the volume of the basalt. Okay, so your partner is going to repeat that process with the granite, and then now you have your mass, you have your volume. You simply need to divide them to figure out your density. That's what that D stands for. Okay, and that's really it. Find the mass, find the volume. You've got the density of the rock. So what we're going to do next is compare everyone's densities together to see how close we were. All right.